Hi guys, it's been a while you saw my face. So welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Chiwendu. Just in case you are passing by for the very first time, you are welcome. And if you have been a returning subscriber, you are also welcome. You guys are my OGs. Thank you guys for all of your support. Today's tutorial, I'll be sharing with you guys how to sew a milkmaid top. Recently, I dropped a tutorial on how to cut that, so you might want to check that out before you come over to this one, okay? Now, if you are interested in this, please keep on watching and please turn on your post notification to get notified for whenever I upload a new video. And if you are yet to hit on the subscribe button, please subscribe and let's dive right into this tutorial. Welcome back guys. I'll be making use of 2 yards of crepe for this tutorial. I'll go ahead and cut out my pattern on this fabric and then add half an inch all around it. So here is the upper part, the down part which is the center and the front. Now to the upper part which is the cup, I added half an inch all around it. Now here is the center front. Remember to cut your center front on fold and then add half an inch in the middle and then half an inch right at the upper part. The same thing goes to the side front. Now to the center back and the side back, add half an inch in the middle and half an inch at the upper part. Now what I'm going to do is remove all my patterns so that we start working on our top. Now, after removing it, bring in the cup area and then remove the pattern. Now, what I'm going to do is go right to my weaving machine and weave the upper part and the center. Remember, if you're making use of your lining, cut out your lining the same way you cut out your actual piece. Okay, and then turn it using half an inch to the good side. Now I'm not making use of a lining, so what I'll go do is weave the upper part and the middle, and then I will sew in the half an inch in the middle and then half an inch right at the top. So I'll move over to my weaving machine, weave this, and after weaving it we'll move over to the sewing machine. Now I am on my sewing machine right now. I'm going to weave the two cups, both the upper part and the center, and then move over to my sewing machine. Here is my sewing machine. I will stitch in the half an inch in the middle and then also the half an inch right at the top. Okay. Now, if you are turning with your lining, turn this with half an inch, okay, to the good side, leaving the down part just that way. Okay. I hope you guys understand. I am done weaving it. Now the next thing I'm going to do is turn this over to the wrong part, and I'm going to, from the upper part, mark down 1 inch. As you can see me doing, I'm going to mark this out on both the cups and then outline it. Now after this, I'm going to make my bias. I have a bias maker, okay, so it is actually very simple for me to use my fabric to make a bias. But if you don't have a bias maker, go ahead and fold your fabric on bias and then cut out tiny strip of bias which you're going to use to insert your drawstring. Okay, so now I'm going to place in this bias just after the line, and then my first stitch should be on the 1 inch that I just marked out, and then the next one is going to be on the other side of the bias. Okay, now this bias is just half an inch bias, so it depends on what you want to do. Now I am done stitching in the bias. You can see the line. I don't know if you are seeing it clearly, but I am done stitching in the bias. Now this is my drawstring. What I did was to cut out tiny pieces and then fold it in, turn it over. So this is what I'm going to use for my drawstring. Now I want to insert this drawstring, but because it is very tiny, what I'm going to use my needle and thread. I've threaded my needle. Now I'm going to sew this drawstring with my needle and thread. So I'm going to just pinch a little and then ensure that I stuck this needle into it. I don't know if you understand. So now after that, I'm going to use the other part of the needle and then stuck into the bias. Okay, now use it to pull out the drawstring. I bet you can't use your broom to do this or your loop turner or anything. Just do what I just explained and you're going to get it right. Now after this is what I have. You can see me trying to pull it so that you guys can see. Okay, now once you get to the other part, ensure to stitch. Okay, now guys, next thing you want to do is go run a loose stitch around the down parts because we are going to gather it up. Now I'm going to put this aside and then bring in our main fabric. This is the center front. Now I'm going to bring in the side front as well, the two side fronts, and then I'm going to place them right side facing each other depending on where each of them is supposed to be. Okay, you already know how to do this. I don't need to explain much. Now once you are done fixing it in, go ahead, move over to your sewing machine and stitch using 1/2 inch, which is the 1/2 inch seam allowance that we left when we were cutting this out. Okay, so I'm going to go stitch this, and yeah, after that we move over to the back. The same thing goes with the back. This is the center back. Now I'm bringing the side back, place it in, ensuring that the right sides are facing each other. So I'm using my pins to hold it down, and once I am done, I'll move over to my sewing machine to stitch using 1/2 inch. So I'll go do this and come show you guys what we have. Okay, now guys, as you can see, I'm done sewing in the center front and the side front. I've gone ahead to weave out the 1/2 inch allowance, and then I'm going to turn in the 1/2 inch right at the upper parts. Next thing is for us to sew in the cup into the under bust curve. Okay, now to do that, we are going to have to bring in the cup. Okay, and remember we ran a loose stitch right at the down parts, which we are going to use to pull it. Now first thing you want to do is notch the center of the middle, and then go ahead and use your tape to measure around the cup to know what you have. Okay, so whatever you have there will help you pull the cup together. Now I have 11 inches. I'm going to use that to pull my cord, and to do that, ensure that you are holding one thread. Don't hold the two because you are going to cut it. Now after pulling one side and you are sure you already at the middle or you have what you want, move over to the other side, hold one thread again, and then pull. Now when you are okay and you are sure you have what you wanted, go ahead and adjust the drawstring at the upper parts. Okay, this will help put this together once more so that you have enough room for your cup to cover out properly well. Okay, so you can see my cup is okay, but it's not that okay because when I wear this, I can adjust it however I want. So after that, go ahead and measure to ensure that you have this 11 inches, and then bring in your cup and fix into the under bust. Now guys, to fix this, first of all, use your pins to hold it right side facing each other. Now if I want to fix this, I want like 1/2 inch in the middle. So from the middle part, I'm going to move away with about 1/4 inch. Okay, and then pin it up. Now after pinning one side, I'm going to repeat the same thing to the other side. So you guys, you can see that quarter of an inch that I moved out. That means in between the two cups, I'll be having half an inch. Okay. Now, if you want to have like 1 inch in the middle, move out by half an inch. I hope you guys understand. Now guys, we are done with that. Here is the back. So what I'll do to the back is fold in the half an inch right at the upper parts, and then after folding the two sides, I'm going to go ahead and join the zipper allowance, okay, which is 1.5 inches, and then give it a good press. Okay, so and then fix the side seams. So you guys, we are done fixing the sides. So here is what I have. Okay, you can see that our milkmaid top is coming out beautifully well. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to the good sides, and you guys can see what we have. I'm equally going to weave the down parts, and then I'm going to create my armhole, the little armhole that you saw right there. Okay, if you don't want to have armhole, you can actually attach your sleeve, okay, just like that. So but mine, I'm going to create a little armhole. So I went down by 2 inches and then cut it out. So my armhole is going to be 4 inches wide. Now after cutting this out, I'm going to go stitch it together again. All right, and you guys, I'm going to measure so you can see. So when I measure, I'll be having 4 inches. Can you see? So guys, now after this, I'm going to move over to the sleeve. The sleeve is very simple. Fold your fabric into 4 equal halves, and then from the upper part of the sleeve, come in by 12 inches. This is the distance between the shoulder and the chest line. Okay, so guys, after that, go ahead and go down by 2 inches for your armhole and curve it out. And now from the top of my sleeve, I'm going to go down to the length I want the sleeve. So my length is to the elbow length. Now I'm going to measure my round elbow divided by 4 plus some inches. Okay, and then I'll connect these points together and mark out my lines. Now after this, I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. And you guys, once I'm done cutting this out, I'll move over to my weaving machine and then weave the upper part and the down part of my sleeve, fold in half an inch for hemming allowance, both for the upper part and the down part, as you can see. And then I will cut out an elastic which I'm going to use to pull my sleeve. Okay, I hope you guys understand. Now from the upper part of my sleeve, I'm going to go down by 1 inch, which is where I'm going to insert my elastic. And then from the down parts, I'm going to come up by 2 inches, although I was using 3 inches here, but I later changed it to 2 inches. So here is the elastic for the down part. Just ensure that your elastic is enough to have what you want for your sleeve. Okay, so I'm going to place my elastic from one end of the side seam and then stitch, and as I'm stitching, I'm going to keep pulling it. Now I'm going to repeat the same thing to the upper part. So guys, I'm going to go sew this on my sewing machine and fix into my sleeve. Okay, now after sewing it, you can see this is our top. Now next thing I want to do is go fixing the zipper, and after fixing in the zipper, next thing is to hem the down part. Okay, So guys, after hemming the down parts, I'll be showing you this on the mannequin to see the final look of our top. Now here is the final look of our top. What do you think about this? I hope this tutorial was helpful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done yet. And you guys, I will see you in my next tutorial. Bye.